we're gonna do a little activity or just workshop time. So this is just like being able to talk credibly about yourself when you go out and network. Like, what's the kind of one sentence you roll off your tongue as you introduce yourself? And so I'm trying to find the chat. There we go. So I can give you guys the link. There we go. And so you guys can, we're just going to take a few moments to go through and have you look at moments in your life that you can talk about your amazingness and your credibility, just to have a connection with people. And so you can go through like the different ages. What are some things that you achieved or experiences that you had or challenges that you overcame? And these are always talking points that you can use. So even for me, as I've been learning to do more storytelling or presenting myself, one of it is the short one is, hey, when I entered into the startup world, didn't really see any other female founders and hence started the female founder community. That itself is like a small story, right? Or even me for saying I'm first generation. My parents were so busy working. I didn't really get as much mentorship or advice on my career choices. They didn't also know necessarily what was the best career, how to choose. And so building Funding Breakthrough Lab was also trying to build the mentorship I would have wanted. And so those are stories that capture people's attention. You're looking for things that when you meet people, you can share, captures their attention, their memory, and therefore makes you more memorable. We will have a workshop on storytelling and pitching, but a key factor of storytelling is evoking your senses. When you tell a story, if you use anything that helps evoke senses, sight, smell, visuals, feeling, emotion, that makes things more memorable. And so when you describe something, if you can pull in any part so that people can imagine it, that helps create memorability. And that's super useful for when you meet people, when you're introducing yourself, when you're pitching. And so these are just divided up into different categories that might be related to your business. So it could be like, hey, we landed X amount of contracts or money in contracts, or yeah, things that you've come across. And this is also just different, I think, ways that you can also build credibility. So like appearance, just dressing a little bit nicer, that also can create credibility. I know in the Bay Area, we're all very casual, but when you are a little bit more formal, it does create credibility. Like only if you're like a notch or two, like you don't want to stand out way too from crowd. If everyone's very casual and then you're in a suit, that can also create tension, but you just want to be a little bit more formal than everyone else. And it will give you a sense of more credibility. I think, Megan, maybe that's why investors or founders keep thinking you're investors because you're dressed like a little notch or two more formal than everyone else, right?
Yeah, I'll say something about that. So my husband is French and he dressed up really nice. Like he looks kind of talented. He dressed super nice even when he was an intern at NASA, and his boss had Crocs. So it's kind of part of my own personal relationship to dress kind of nice. But I will say that I'm a California girl and dressing nice wasn't really natural to me. I want to be in yoga pants and like hiking gear. All through my PhD in astrophysics, I dressed nice sometimes, but I would say that what really helped me was I found and had a lot of fun like watching some YouTube channels about like how to express yourself through dressing. And there's some channels out there that, will tell you how to wear like a blazer with jeans. And so you look kind of fashionable and put together, but you're not causing tension, I think. And I'm trying to relate it to what you're saying because you're wearing jeans. And you have to make sure that you feel good in what you're wearing too, because if you feel out of place, then you're not going to be confident. You're not going to, but if you do it right, it will improve your confidence. So it's like an art form that I've had a lot of fun cultivating. And it's true, yeah, I feel guilty because I feel people get really disappointed when I'm not an investor. I'm like just like one of the founders figuring it out. But yeah, hopefully that was inspiring or helpful.
Yeah, great share. Love that advice and feedback. Just check. Yeah, Jonathan's putting a laugh. Great. Yeah. And then if you have credentials, you're an engineer, astrophysicist, and all this, anytime you start with that, people automatically, oh, it gives credibility off the bat because we know those degrees are hard to get. If you're building your business, if you helped your customer solve a problem, like talking about that as well builds credibility about your customer success or the average results of your customers, and then any history. So you guys can just go through this. We'll take like a 15-minute pause for you guys to you can make a copy of this, I think. Let me know if you're not able to make a copy, but I would think you should be able to make a copy and then you can fill your own. And then we can just do a quick where you guys will try the credibility statements on each other. Yeah. And I will just stop the share for now and then let you guys take a quick 15-minute break. And I think I wonder if there is a timer countdown that I can do. Timer app. There we go. So we'll do a quick 15-minute. I think you guys can see out on the top corner. And then feel free to write credibility. I'll try to fill in all your credibilities, and then you guys can practice them on each other. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say I left a link for that Bell organization. They're gonna have a hackathon in a few weeks in September. So if anyone's interested, it's a vibe coding one. I forgot like what's the vibe coding sponsor because they usually have like, one that you're sometimes required to use. It just depends on the hackathon, like what rules they have, and sometimes they don't post the rules until like more closer to the events. Yeah, so then anyone's interested, usually they have 3 to 5 max per team. I think this one I don't have anyone that I'm going with right now, unless I forgot. Or actually, no, there's someone I met at a Bell event, and she like came up to me and, oh, do you do hackathons? Are you doing any? I was like, so I basically got like a teammate just from that going to that event, which is completely opposite experience of trying to recruit people because I wasted like hours and hours trying to recruit people for hackathons, and I'm totally done with it. It's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, I think if you just show up the hackathon, you'll always just find people there.
No, that's what happened with the one when we won first place. Like I just met basically a random college student, his first hackathon, and then he went to go talk to someone else, and I went to go talk to someone else. And of course, the person that I wanted to talk to is actually a dude that is also like a citizen of the tower called Devin. Like I've seen him like at other events, like I saw him at outside LMs. I've seen him like some other events like at Frontier Tower, and I actually got to meet him finally because I think the first time I met him, like we didn't exchange names or anything. And he apparently wears swag of companies that his friends work at. So I would always ask him, like, oh, do you work there? He explains on it, like, all the stuff I wear is like for my friend's company. I don't work at any of these. I work like somewhere else. And apparently he's also former military too. Yeah. Dude, you'll meet random people. And yeah, it's just better to meet people on the day or go ahead of time. Like with people, that's like probably the best strategy. So you won't waste your time basically. And the other people you could bet ahead of time and you know that they're serious and not going to ghost you because I've had that too experience.
Oops. We're just filling out the Google Doc. Like you can make a copy and then trying to like fill out stories that give you credibility. So when you meet people or talk about your business, there's like little kind of quick things that you can say to give yourself credibility. So we're trying to find out like what are these things? What are these mini stories that you can tell that capture people's attention?
Okay, yeah, great. I will fill it out as well.
Nice.
Your Oscar speech time is done.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So things you probably need to communicate when you're talking about your business is you want to build trust and belief in you, right? People also need to know who are you helping? What are the results your customers are going to get? And a big part of it is like why you care. And that's usually tied into like your hero story or why you're uniquely qualified. And when it comes to communicating about your business, consider like these are the things you would probably want to cover to, yeah, gain credibility, but then also get the message across about what your business is doing and then why it matters to you. And so now we're going to put you out into breakout rooms. So just randomize this. And then you guys can introduce each other. So it'll be really quick. I'll probably just do 5 minutes. You guys, or me even less. So just be like 1 minute quick intro. then the other person's turn, and then we'll come back and I'll have a few questions. Let's see how many. Trying to see, there's 13, so we'll need six
And are we
minutes.
doing, sorry, and are we doing our regular intros or are we doing our intros through our credibility statements?
You're trying to do it with your credibility statements, and then one of you guys are going to have to move into second room because one of these are note taker. So feel free to use your new credibility statements, like any of the ones you want to use there, but it's just you're practicing giving each other, like doing an intro and then seeing how that feels, also maybe getting any feedback from that. But in this instance, it's just doing a quick intro. We'll just keep it that simple. Okay. Okay, so I am opening all rooms. I think there's one room of 3, so you guys can join in. Okay, great, nice. And so if I was gonna ask you guys, when it comes to forming first impressions, how much percentage, or what do you think is the most important thing or influences us the most?
Probably appearance, because
Appearance.
people judge. I've run into that damn problem all the time, like past few months especially, just like people judging me just on my appearance. And I'm a citizen here. You don't need to take me out of the building. Or I'm a tech founder. I worked in tech. I belong at this YC event, for example.
What? They thought you were a homeless or something, or what?
So like even at a YC event, they threatened to call the cops because like I basically was standing outside and I was on the wait list, and I don't know, they were being petty that time basically. And like I actually went to another YC event the week after, and like that same security manager that called the police was like, "Oh, I mean, because he apparently thought I was wearing a face mask because I was scared of him or trying to hide." I was like, "I'm not wearing this mask to hide. I have asthma and I don't want to get sick. I don't have time to get sick, so that's why I'm wearing this." Yeah, so that dude definitely has a big head and thinks he's very important. And I don't know that people are afraid of him. It's like, dude, you don't even know who I am. I am not afraid of you or the police.
I think nonverbal communication is really important.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So actually, nonverbal communication is like the top. Our body language communicates a lot. And then it is our appearance. And then after that, it's behavioral cues. Lastly, it's what you're actually saying. And then there's the context of where you are. So like actually what you say out of your mouth has very little to do with how people absorb the information. And you can think of it where someone is speaking extremely confidently and saying the same thing as someone else who isn't, you can perceive the message in a very different way or give credibility or not. And the way they dress, the environment, like even just hosting events. If we have a good venue, the experience for people, even though we might be giving the same content, is completely different. And a lot of times what's actually being said matters very little. And one of the attribution theory states that we're motivated to understand the underlying causes of behavior. And why? Because we just want to understand why other people do things. And so there's 2 type of attribution. There's internal attributions when we attribute an action, behavior, outcome to internal characteristics of the individual. So like we think it's because of their personality, their traits, their abilities, attitudes, efforts, and moods. And that's why they've done this. And then on the opposite side, there's external attribution, when you attribute those things to outside factors of the individual. So it might be luck, the social influences, environment conditions, or the difficulty of the task. And fundamental attribution error is the fact that we have the tendency to overestimate the importance of internal and underestimate the importance of external situational factors. So you'll say it's internal for you when it's really external. So example, he crashed because he's a terrible driver, when the real reason is his brakes went out. So you'll assume external stuff for other people and internal for yourself. So they're laughing because they're all jerks, when the real reason is that someone just told a funny joke, right? Like she is late because she doesn't really care about me, when the real reason is she's late because there's traffic. So you're giving external reasons to why other people do things, or you're attributing internal reasons of, but really it's external reasons. So you're always assuming it's an internal reason that they're doing that instead of external. So you overemphasize the internal when it comes to other people. And so he didn't say hi to me when I walked by because he doesn't like me. So again, you're like thinking like it's an internal reason that they did that, when really the reality is it's an external reason. And so why this might matter in the case of fundraising, like the investor didn't get back to me because he doesn't believe in me. Like you might assume it's like internal reasons that they're not getting back to you, but and because of fundamental attribution error, like we just tend to have this bias that we think it's an internal reason people do the thing they do and not because of external factors. And so I just want you to be aware of it, so that when you're going out there and you're starting to think, oh, this and this, and you're thinking it's because of internal reasons that people aren't reaching out to you, don't like you, or whatnot, it could be like, it's most likely more external than internal. And so a lot of times, like the VC might be overwhelmed. They're super busy themselves. Their life caught up with them. You don't know, like they have so many emails, they forgot. And it's not because they didn't believe in you, it's just because they're busy. And so that's just a good cue to know. And so I know, like, even when you're introducing yourselves to each other, there might be this thought of, hey, or when you go out and network, oh, other people don't like me, maybe I don't belong, and you're coming up with like reasons that people might not leave for internal reasons, versus maybe they're just busy, that they're stressed out, like there's other factors in their life. And so one of the things that I went to this conference, and this voice coach came up. She was saying that our voice is the most underutilized aspect. So your voice is actually your identity. And so people used to buy when they just trusted you. It's no longer the case. These days, the bar is higher. You need to have like connection, authenticity to be able to sell to people. And her thought process is your voice actually keeps the score. So when you talk, like if you sound confident, if you sound authentic, like people can tell through your voice. And so I want you to go back into your groups and now try to introduce yourself, but just imagine that this person is your friend when you do the introduction. And then see how that changes. So I will reopen the rooms. You guys are just redoing the same introductions, but imagine that the other person is one of your best friends and your friend. They love you, and you're going to do your same introductions and see how that feels. Thank you for joining us.
I guess I'll hop off, but I want to say great. Natalie, thank you so much. Great to meet all the founders. All of you reach out to me anytime. Happy to help. That's why I'm here. I feel like I cut off in mid-discussion, so happy to continue it as you have availability. I'm around. I'll be here the month of September, and then I'm around most of the time. Look forward to hearing from you. So
great.
Thanks
I'll say
again,
ditto to what Paul said. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
See everybody soon, and hopefully we'll be scheduling times to do one-on-ones very soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
And I also want to talk to the mentors at some point as well. That's part of this, is part of the
Yes,
value
looking
here.
forward to that.
Likewise. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.